Hi guys, Jate with spiritsvessel.com and the Spirits Vessel YouTube channel, and I am doing the Virgo weekly tarot reading for Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, and Virgo Rising. And this week is pretty interesting. Oh, if you're cross-watching for someone who's a Virgo in your life, well, then this is a good place to get some insight into what's going on with them. So this week is interesting for Virgos. There's a full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius quincunxes your guys' sign, so that means it's 5 signs apart. What that means is that it's a little bit of discordant energy. The energies don't really know how to meld very well, and it can create a bit of instability. It can create a bit of irritation. So you guys might be feeling a little overwhelmed with all this fiery energy. You might be finding that, Virgos like things to be more on the simple side, a little bit more calm, a little bit more peaceful. It doesn't like energy that's super loud. And right now we're full blown in the Leo party. So everything is loud, everything is fiery, and just kind of tuning into your guys' energy. I'm kind of feeling like you guys are on one hand enjoying the new adventures that you're going on, because I think there's a lot of opportunities abound, and at the same time it's a little bit overwhelming. So if you guys are not taking care of your health because you're just moving, I would say maybe get a handle on that. Virgos have really sensitive intestines and guts, and out of any other sign, Virgo, it seems like they're the ones where if their life is a little out of balance, it will start to manifest in physical health symptoms. So be kind to yourself, guys. So let's see what's going on with the energy. I'm using the Santa Muerte Oracle deck. And the cool thing, oh, this card wanted to pop out. Hello. The 2 in the Santa Muerte Oracle deck. The Santa Muerte Oracle deck is broken up into 8 different parts, 4 different parts with 8 cards each. And the first 8 cards all have to do with the emanations. Now, this is based off the Kabbalah. There's 4 different parts of reality that the Kabbalah talks about. And basically the emanations part in this Santa Muerte deck talks about the primordial soup that we're in. It's kind of like there was a big bang, right? But what happened before the big bang? What happened before all that energy, this void, this nothingness? Where do ideas and desires come from? Do they come from us, or do they come from sort of this nothingness in the world? And like what's the process of taking something from nothing and then making it tangible? And so these emanations cards all have to talk about that. Abstract, they're innate, they're primitive, they haven't quite gotten the sophistication of physical form yet. So what does this card mean in the Santa Muerte deck? Well, it's the number 2, it's the masculine card, and this is just raw masculine energy. Raw, fiery, masculine, Mars type energy. Doesn't have a whole lot of structure. It's a bit unstable. And that can be a little bit uncomfortable, because Virgos really thrive well when there's structure and stability. So you could be finding that even though, you guys, I feel like you're really coming into a lot of power. And I think you guys are very aware of your abilities at this point, especially because of being in Leo season, the self is really being highlighted. And I think you guys are very aware that you're very good at what it is that you do. And at the same time, I think there is a lot of instability going on. There's not really a whole lot of focus. I don't think you guys were used to having such a huge influx of energy. We've had a huge influx of energy since the Lion's Gate portal on the 8th. And, I think it's making you guys a little bit scattered. So ground yourselves out a little bit. If you need some guidance or advice on how to stabilize your life, it might be good to look into a paternal figure, perhaps turn to your dad or seek out a mentor at this point to help structure your life. I know Virgos are known for being super structured and organized, but not every single Virgo person's like that. And even though you can tell a lot when a Virgo is going through a disorganized phase, it seems like Virgos, a lot of the time, certain parts of their life will be very structured and very organized. And then like their room is a mess or their car is a mess or, whatever. So maybe perhaps your room is clean, your house is clean, everything is organized there, but at work, everything is getting out of control. And maybe you don't know how to organize it correctly. Maybe the way you've been categorizing things in your life wasn't very efficient. So always seeking out some guidance, it's never a bad thing to get some advice. So, especially with all this, male energy going on right now. I think that's really what the issue is. Virgo's more of a feminine, receptive sign. And so when you guys are forced to have to go about and do things in a very action-oriented sort of way, Virgos can tend to not really know how to be assertive. Not every Virgo, but a lot of them think that being aggressive is being assertive, and sometimes they don't really have the best boundary issues. Virgo and Pisces tend to have boundary issues with people, and you guys can tend to loosen those boundaries because you guys are so much in like service to others, and sometimes you guys can feel so intensely the needs of someone else that then you take them on as a project to fix them or whatever. And, I think you guys are starting to realize that that's backfiring. Some of you guys, it's been backfiring. And maybe you need to learn how to say no. And perhaps getting some dudes in your life teaching you how to say no. But make sure they're in integrity. You don't just want to take advice from a fuck boy or anything like that. Sorry fuck boys, you don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, so I'm gonna pull some cards from the Wild Unknown tarot deck and just kind of see what's going on with your guys's energy. And it's cool, the cards are shuffling. I don't have as much of a tight throat as I did with Capricorn and Aquarius, so I think that's a really good sign. I kept having my throat kept getting dry with those two signs. It was super weird. So let's see what's going on with you guys. Okay, so Tower moment. Interesting. Have you guys been partying a little bit too much? That's kind of what I'm feeling with this card here. I don't know if it wants to zoom in. Guess it doesn't really matter. Internally, you guys are going through a little bit of a breakdown. Now, this could be like what I was saying earlier with the physical health symptoms. Maybe you guys are starting to understand that, once things become disorganized and out of control, very quickly you'll have a health symptom to remind you of that. This is a blessing in disguise. A lot of signs can go on for years being totally out of control and not understanding it and screwing their lives over. But at least you guys are getting the signs now. I'm really picking up on some of you Virgos are getting a lot more sick, like constantly getting colds, maybe like allergies are really flaring up, issues with digestion. Yeah, I think a lot of that is coming up. Son of Wands, this kind of tells me, I think this is what's going on because it's coming in reverse. So I think that's just going back to all this fire energy going on. I think there is a lack of maturity in handling all this energy for some Virgos out there. And also, there's two different energies I'm picking up on really strongly. One is that there's been a few Virgos out there that have really been partying and really enjoying the summer and really getting out of control. And they're having their tower moment where they can't keep going in the same direction, and they're not handling all this fire energy appropriately, and they're burning out. And then I have another group of Virgos that are realizing that they're more powerful than they thought that they were. And this fire energy is really, really touching them in a good way, in a positive way, and getting them back in touch with this childlike power. You know, maybe when you were a younger Virgo, people considered you bossy, and maybe that's why you shut down that power. And I think you're realizing that, like, maybe your bossiness is a good thing, you know? Cool. So the Emperor in reverse, and kind of what I was just saying before. Bossy. The Emperor is the boss. It's the card of Aries. And maybe you're realizing that you need to start acting more like the boss. And that's where that tower moment's coming from, because you haven't been acting like a boss. You've been acting like a child. So stop it. Hangman. So, yeah, you know, perhaps you need to get some different perspective on what's going on here. In those two groups of Virgo that I am thinking of, there's that one Virgo group that's really burning out right now. I mean, like, extremely burning out. Then there's this other Virgo group that is really coming into their own at this point. And with both Virgos, both groups of Virgos, both of you are really needing to gain some outside perspective and really slow down a little bit. And that's what the Hangman card is all about. When you hang upside down, you immediately get new perspective on whatever it is that you are looking at. You're not going to view it the same way when you're upside down. So I think that's what you're needing right now. You're just needing a lot more advice from other people outside of your group, by the way, because I think that's part of the issue. I'm really picking this up really strongly, and I don't know which Virgo this is going out to, but I think your group is holding you back, like extremely holding you back, and I think you're starting to realize that. And you're really needing some perspective from people who are not in that group, because that group is really kind of out of control. And I think that's why it's interesting. So with both those groups of Virgos, one Virgo group is like, wow, I'm really not into any of this, and I'm actually, you know, discovering myself at this point, and I realize I'm actually above all of this. So I'm going to take a step back and figure out how to get beyond this, because clearly, like, I had a part to play in getting me involved in this setting. And then there's the other Virgo, and then that's more of the mature, evolved way of, like, you know, you came to this on your own and now you're moving forward. Then there's this other group of Virgos where they have completely burned out and they're having a very rude awakening. Ouch. You've been lying to yourself. You have been lying to yourself or lying to others. There is some sort of manipulation taking place. And I can definitely see that, you know, especially with that group of Virgos that's been kind of out of control for a while, and they're starting to realize, like, I have really been lying to myself. And it really, it doesn't serve anyone. It certainly doesn't serve myself when I lie to myself. And for that other group of Virgos, again, it's like you guys have been lying to yourself. You guys have been playing it small. And why? Or maybe you've been lying about this, this group that you were talking about, or that I was talking about. I was talking about this group, Jate. I'm the one that's doing the reading. Sorry. Okay. So, I am really picking this up so strongly. Whoever you're surrounding yourself with, they have got to go. And you need to stop lying to yourself about these people. They are not good for you. This Seven of Swords is at the middle of this reading. They're not good. They are not serving you at all. And whether or not you got burned by this and now you're seeing it, or you're just seeing it because you're realizing that you're just feeling drained, and you're realizing that maybe they haven't burned you yet, but like to move forward in your life, you're going to have to change things up. And you need to be surrounded by people who have the same sort of mindset that you have. You can't keep both feet, or you can't keep one feet in both worlds, because you're just going to keep pulling yourself back into the old one. You've got to let go of whatever that is. And that's really what I feel like. I feel like there's some Virgos out there where you guys are surrounded by manipulators. And this happens to Virgo a lot, because you guys are just so, you guys are so compassionate. I dropped my cards a little bit there, which is interesting. I caught them with my legs, but I knocked them over. So I don't think you guys are wanting to hear this. I think you guys are kind of realizing that, or some of you. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. That's never happened before to me. Yeah, I think I think this might be making some of you angry. I'm kind of picking up on that too. Like, there be a Virgo who watches this that kind of gets indignant, and that should tell you everything. That should really tell you everything about what's going on with your energy right now. Why are you being so indignant about this? Why are you being so defensive over this? I think because it's a reflection of what's going on with you. And I think it's a reflection of, like, okay, I'm seeing that everyone in my life is manipulative, but what part do I have to play in this? I had one Virgo in my life that I recently had a falling out with, and, she was really lying to herself about a lot of things that were going on in her life. And I, had to cut that one out. And, and I really, I love that girl dearly, but it's one of those things where, some of you guys, not all of you guys, but some of you guys out there are really like perfectionists. Virgo is kind of the sign of like this virginal girl. She's the perfect woman or the perfect man, and they're, excellently groomed, and they've got all their shit together. And that's sort of the stereotypical image of like Virgo. And sometimes that applies. You guys are very detail oriented. You guys are very logical. You guys are very rational. And here's the thing with Virgos, because you're so acutely aware of what other people need in their life in a very practical way, you can almost lose sight of what it is that you need. And because you're so good at seeing it in other people, it can give you a false sense of confidence in yourself. So even though you're going crazy, since people are still coming to you for advice and for guidance, you think, oh, well, they got to be coming to me for advice and guidance for a reason. And, like, not saying that you're not accurate. You are, but you also need to take care of yourself too. You also need to stop, you also need to, well, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything. You guys are independent adults or teenagers or whoever's watching this. Do whatever the hell you want to. But, I think really doing some self-care. This is why Virgos get health issues, because you guys are so, in that service to others that you lose sight of yourself. And I think you guys are really seeing this right now. For that one group of Virgo that is out of control, you guys are having a tower moment this week. I really hope that that's a wake-up call for you guys, and you start to realize that something needs to be cut here. And for the other Virgos that it wasn't that intense, really start to be clear here. And understand that, let's see this card here, the Fool. Okay, so, yeah. Are you the fool of this scenario? Are you starting to realize that you've been making excuses for other people's lies? And lack of clarity. Lack of clarity. Gosh, I am picking this up so strongly. This card doesn't want to, the camera doesn't want to zoom in. There it goes. There it goes. That's a lot of cups. That's a lot of cups. And which are the right cups to choose from? Kind of interesting because cups is water energy. Are some of you guys getting out of control with your drinking? I really am picking up on that very strongly. Some of you guys are drinking a little bit too much this month, and maybe have been for a while. And also I think, this could be, now see, if the Seven of Swords was coming in upright, I would say more so, this is someone else that's lying to you as opposed to you lying to yourself. But it's reverse. So I think you've been lying to yourself about some substance abuse issues. For some of you. And then for the other group, I think you've been lying to yourself about your friends, about your group, about how I think you guys are a little bit out of control, not realizing it. Here's Temperance, card Sagittarius. So this could be a Sagittarius person in your life, maybe a mentor figure, a father figure, someone that is providing a sense of balance for you. I believe, if it is a Sagittarius, I think this person is giving you the cold, hard truth. But I think with that said, it gives you some new perspective. And it allows you to see things very clearly. And I think probably, at least I feel that, there's a lot of heaviness in my chart as I'm talking, or not in my chart, in my heart as I'm talking about this. And, I think that, you guys are just really in a weird headspace right now. I'm going to pull one more card. Interesting. Okay. Two of Swords. So kind of going back to that Seven of Cups energy, not having clarity, not being able to make a decision. The decision that needs to be made is not an easy one, but it has to be made because you're blocking out all this abundance that could be waiting for you. Because you're holding on to some person, some group, some situation that just is not serving you anymore. And it's making you not able to move forward. And the Six of Pentacles in reverse here. So, I think you guys are having a wake-up call this week. And I think that's what that tower moment is. I think that full moon is going to bring about that tower moment. I think you guys are going to see something you can't unsee. And I think this has to do with the people you've been surrounding yourself with. I am feeling this very, very, very intensely. And I think you've been avoiding it for a minute now. I'm really picking up on there's been an excess of substances, whether you've been smoking too much pot or whether you've been drinking too much to deal with it. I am really picking up on that strongly for some of you Virgos out there. And if it's not a substance abuse thing, I think there's something you guys have been doing where you just haven't been dealing with reality because of these Seven of Cups here. You've been in dream world. You have not been seeing things clearly. And I think this father figure, this masculine figure that I'm really picking up on strongly, I think they are very balanced and compassionate and kind, and they are able to get through to you in a way to where you can hear it. And when and once you can get past this, once you can have that aha moment, you can start to rebuild yourself again. You know, you can start to be grounded again. You can start taking care of your health again. You know, it's interesting because this is the Six of Pentacles, and in astrology, Virgo rules the sixth house of health and the mundane day-to-day chores that you have to do, routine, structure. And that's what you guys are really needing to get back on. You know, all this fire energy is really great, but it is like a live wire and it has to be handled accordingly, and it needs a proper outlet for it. So if you guys have been sort of like slacking off on your health, you're not eating right, again, you're partaking a little bit too much in substances, you're not doing, you're not exercising regularly, I would really start to take a step back, get yourself structured and in a routine again, stay on that path for a while, and then maybe go back to, not partying so much, right? It's like everything in excess. And then also, if it's not a party thing with you guys, and you're just realizing that I want more for myself, because I picked that up very strongly. Like I said, there's two groups of Virgos I'm talking to here. There's one group where party animals, and there's the other group where they're like, I am better than this. I am better than this situation that I've gotten myself into. And you're right. Like if that's how you're feeling, you are right. Here's the thing. You got yourself into that situation because of, how you were raised, what your belief systems are, what your perspective on life is. And this would be a very good time to seek some guidance from someone who's done the thing that you're trying to do. Because if they've done the thing that you're trying to do, then they can tell you how to get there. And also being in their field, it's almost like you kind of download their energy a little bit. You're in their presence, and there's an alchemical process that happens when you are around people who are living the life that you want. You learn through osmosis. You start to become like them, which is why I'm always so cautious about who I surround myself with. And I'm always so aware of what my group is. Especially for Virgos, you guys are very empathic and very intuitive when it comes to what other people need. And sometimes you can confuse that with your own stuff. And, I think seeking some guidance on how to set better boundaries and how to move forward and how to build towards this life that's more in line with who you are would really behoove you during this period. So yeah, that's all I have to say for Virgos right now. I really do love you guys. I think I was a little bit harsh in this reading, but I think the harshness is really coming from the fact that I think a lot of you Virgos are just not listening to reason. And I don't know why that's going on right now, but I love you guys. I love the Virgos who are in my life. I'm a Sagittarius and I have a lot of Leo energy, so maybe that's why I'm really like zoned in on this. I thought it was interesting how the Temperance card came up in the reading too, which is a Sagittarius card. So I really do love you guys. I really do. I have so many Virgos in my life that are so skilled and so special, and they just don't even see it because they're busy, getting sucked into other people's dramas, and it drives me nuts. And then there's these other Virgos in my life who are so talented and so special, and they, they sell themselves short. And, I think this reading is going out to them. I mean, that whole group I was just talking about. And, I really hope that during this week, you guys, if you guys are having a pretty intense tower moment, be really kind to yourself. Realize that we're doing the best we can with the information that we have. And so, just be grateful that you had this insight, and then also, start to move forward and start to really see things clearly and start to take some decisive steps on how to get yourself from point A to point B. You know what is more deserving of your time and energy. You know that on some level. You know where you want to be. You know what you're capable of. So just get some more guidance, get some more structure on getting there. There's a really good book called Atomic Habits by James Clear that talks about how if you would just make a 1% improvement every day, it has exponential returns down the line. So that's something to keep in mind. If you need to change your lifestyle, start slow, be kind to yourself. And yeah, that's it. So if you liked that reading, if you felt like it resonated with you, please like and subscribe to my channel. I will be posting weekly tarot readings. And if you would like a personal reading, either tarot or astrology, you can go to my website at spiritsvessel.com, and I will link it down below in the description box. Okay. Have a good one, Virgos. I love you. Please be safe. Bye.